Everyone, welcome back to another video, and this time is gonna be a discussion my video, and of course I'm actually going to do Die Hard with a Vengeance 1995, and I'm gonna discuss and I'm gonna explain top 10 reasons why it's one of my favorite action movies of all time, one of my favorites. I did on Cobra and Commando, so now I'm actually going to do on Die Hard with a Vengeance because no one does, and I'll explain why I love the movie to death. I reviewed now a lot of Bruce Willis films. I did review Die Hard all five films last year. But now since it's of course end of December, I want to do another video and my discussion on Die Hard with a Vengeance 1995, why it was directed. Why it's my favorite. Die Hard and Die Hard with a Vengeance are both directed by John McTiernan, and they're both my all-time favorite movies. But Die Hard with a Vengeance I love to death, and of course, like I said, they're both directed by the same director. He directed Predator, The Hunt for Red October. Haven't seen Rollerball. People were complaining about. I haven't seen none of those two movies. But he directed Die Hard and Die Hard the Vengeance, and Die Hard is my favorite franchise of all time, with Rambo franchise. And Bruce Willis is one of my favorite action stars, and that's the reason I reviewed most of his movies. But you can see I have the poster of Die Hard the Vengeance right there, and why I love Die Hard the Vengeance to death. First off, it's actually known fact that Jonathan Hensley and John McTiernan ignored the director Rennie Harlin's Die Hard 2, and they actually just focused the story in which the first movie left off. So now my top 10, which the story left out, they actually decide just to ignore the second movie and just continue the story from the first movie, which I thought I respect that. Now, Die Hard the Vengeance is one of my all-time favorite action movies of all time. And here are my top 10 reasons, that I'm gonna explain. And just like I did for Cobra and Commando, I'm actually discussing now 1995, my own, why this movie is to me my favorite. It's by many people, Die Hard the original is their favorite because it's a Christmas movie. The second movie is a Christmas movie too, and there are some people who also prefer Die Hard 2 over all four films. I'm always gonna go for Die Hard the Vengeance because I've been a huge fan of this movie. I'm a huge fan of the first movie. The first and the third movie are both great, unique. And what was in the and I remember, I have to say this, which I said in my review last year. I remember back in 2013, there was a trailer for Die Hard 2, still is on that trailer. And there was this guy, I'm not gonna mention his name, he was saying that Die Hard 2 is the best of all the Die Hard movies, but except the first one, all sequels suck, including this movie, the third one. And I went to, and I did was commenting him back, and I said, "Sir, Die Hard Vengeance is better than Die Hard 2." And he was so offended and so pissed off on me, and he came out at me, and he keeps trying to convince me how Die Hard 2 is unique with the first one, but this movie is terrible, this movie sucks, I disagree with everything, and he hold a grudge till day. I think that guy's comments are now deleted, or he closed the account. But he was so offended when I said that Die Hard Vengeance, in my opinion, is actually better than Die Hard 2. He got so offended. But it's my opinion, and he can't do anything about it. I love the movie to death. I love the first one. I love the second one and the fourth one. But Die Hard Vengeance is unique to me. It's a classic. It's one of the best 90s action films. And if you're gonna ask me, because in the 90s we got a lot of good sequels, like Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I think everyone's favorite sequel from the 90s is Terminator 2 Judgment Day. My favorite sequel, and the best one will always gonna be Die Hard the Vengeance. If you're gonna ask which is the best, which is actually the best 90s sequel, I'll say Die Hard the Vengeance. I think there was Roku Stalker 2, was also a sequel. I don't remember now the franchise from the 90s. Child's Play also got a sequel in the 90s. But yes, my favorite and the best 90s sequel to me will always be Die Hard: The Vengeance. The best 90s action film will always going to be Die Hard: The Vengeance, because I watched on my birthday. Tomorrow's my birthday, which I'm going to watch it tomorrow. And Die Hard: The Vengeance is my favorite movie of all time. You can't change that. I love the movie to death. It's my favorite. And I'm gushing for 5 minutes about the movie, but I haven't got to 10 reasons. So let's go why I actually love the movie to death. Reason number one, the villains. Now, everyone says that Hans Gruber is the best villain of all time. I would say I agree. But Simon Gruber, his brother, is also a mastermind, and he's also one of the greatest villains ever. I actually love the villains. I love in this movie. I actually love in this movie Simon Gruber, played by Jeremy Irons. He did brilliantly. I love Sam Phillips as Katya. She played a mute, but she was also a psycho. Like, she went and killed a guard and she keeps stabbing with a knife. She was a psycho. And I also love the actor who played Matthias Stargo. I think it was Nick Wyman, I think, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name, but I love Matthias Stargo and Katya and Mcclane, and of course Simon Gruber. And what I love the fact about the villains is that Katya and Simon screwed over, they fucked and screwed over John Mcclane. They screwed over, they both went and screwed over John Mcclane. They screwed over Matthias Stargo. And one of the best reasons is that actually John Mcclane doesn't kill Matthias Stargo, but Katya kills him. They were messing up, and I miss that. I love that Simon and Katya screwed everyone over. And in the first Die Hard, if you read the novel from Roderick Thorpe, Nothing Lasts Forever, in the novel there was a female terrorist. There was actually a female terrorist in the building, but in the first Die Hard they didn't put a female terrorist, but in this movie she is a female terrorist. And Sam Phillips, she was a pop singer, she said that she was glad she doesn't speak, but when she saw the movie she wished she will speak. But you know what, I'm fine the way it is. I thought the villains, I love that that Katya and Simon were screwing over with John Mcclane, and they screwed over Matthias Stargo. They tried to get away. I love that scene. I love how I love how they actually were screwing over. You know, I actually do love that how they were both screwing over with John Mcclane and Matthias Stargo. But yeah, that's number one, because the villains, I thought that Simon Gruber did the same job. He actually did a great, Jeremy Irons did a great performance as Simon Gruber. I thought he did a damn good job, just like Hans Gruber. I like that. I love that in the movie. And Jeremy Irons did a fantastic job as Simon Gruber. I thought he did terrific as a psychopath, as Hans Gruber's brother. I know Hans Gruber is the best villain, but Simon Gruber is right there with Hans Gruber for me. So yes, that's number one. Reason number two, no Holly McClane, thank God. I hated her in the second movie. So I've been actually studying and watching online. You know, I watched this movie reviewers on YouTube, and I kind of noticed that a few people complain about it because there's no Holly McClane in the film. There's different actors that she has a voice on the phone when McClane calls her. But it wasn't Bonnie Bedelia. She didn't want to be in this movie. Thank God. I hate Holly McClane. I like her in the first movie. I like Bonnie Bedelia's acting performance in the first movie. I hated her in the second movie because she was way too much annoying, especially on the airplane. It kind of annoyed me. And John McClane doesn't need his wife in every fucking movie. I'm glad I'm glad John McTiernan took her out, but he still decided to put, something in the film. And I actually love that, I actually love that. Because John McClane is a badass. He doesn't need a wife, to hold him back to be a pussy. He's a badass. He's a stone cold badass that he is. He's my favorite character, and he's a badass in this movie. And and that's what I like about action heroes. He doesn't need a fucking girl. He's a badass. He's a stone cold cop, and he'll do anything to stop the terrorists and to save the bombs. And he's a badass. And I'm glad that Holly Mcclane was in this film. But I do love and appreciate this film that the actress Colleen Camp, who plays Connie Kowalski, was in this movie, and I thought she did a much better job than Bonnie Bedelia, in my opinion. She wasn't annoying in the second movie. I love that. And also there was another black girl. She played Wanda Shepard, and she was just great. I thought that the female actresses and of course Sam Phillips, they did fantastic job in the film. Because the first movie and the second movie, especially the first movie, you don't see so many actresses like this movie has. But I'm glad Holly Mcclane, because I don't like her. Why the fuck she had to be in this movie? I'm glad she wasn't. I'm glad she was cut. I'm glad that John McTiernan, he did an excellent direction, which I'm missing today. He did an excellent direction. He just focused on John McClane and the problem and the action sequences, and that's what I respect about the film. That's what I love the film, because there's no Holly McClane. In second movie, she was really annoying. That's one of the reasons why. One of the reasons kinda the movie put me down, because it kinda has a problems for me. One of the reasons is she wasn't just the only problem in Die Hard 2. Was also the problem that was kinda the copy of the first movie. That's why this movie, which has balls, Die Hard Avengers has balls, does not copy the first movie. It's a different story, and I just respect that. And it has no Holly McClane. Yes, thank God. I'm glad and respect McTiernan's vision. No Holly McClane. Thank you, Mr. McMahon. Mr. McMahon. Mr. McTiernan, not McMahon. Mr. McTiernan. That's number 2. Number 3, it's rated R. It's well acted. It's fast paced. It's realistic. I respect the movie because it's realistic. I love the movie because it's realistic. I love that the store owner gets he goes in the situation, and he's just a civilian. He's not a cop. This is not a body cop movie. He's just a civilian, and he tries, and there's a bombs, and I love the movie. What I try to respect the filmmakers, that they actually really filmed in New York. The movie was filmed in New York. So yes, it's realistic because there's a bunch of people that walk in, and you see a lot of people, and it was realistic. And because it's also rated there, it has balls, because John McTiernan filmed in New York. Most of the scenes are filmed in New York. I don't know if every scenes, but most of the scenes were filmed in New York, and it has balls, and it feels like realistic. It's fast paced. For 2 hours, Bruce Willis gets smacked down, knocked down. It has intense action film. It's realistic. That's one of the reasons I love the movie, because it's realistic. It's fast paced. It feels just like the first movie. The first movie also feels realistic, but I thought this movie is unique. It's stylish. It has a great tone. Like there's a bombs in the school, and and it feels like realistic when everyone's searching for these bombs. It kind of feels realistic, and I thought that John McTiernan did an awesome job, making this kind of movie for 2 hours and 8 minutes, which is actually shorter than the first movie. It has non-stop intense. It has action. It has adrenaline. It has rush in the film. And the pacing is like it's well acted. It has great blood screens. It has great blood. It's intense. It's great shot. Great scenes are directed in it. So yes, it's realistic. It's all the scenes you saw is done by steam stunts, which no one gives the credits for it. It's all realistic. It's all practical. That time they weren't the CGI that much. Yes, they were CGI for the special effects, but they weren't so much. This movie doesn't have any CGI in the film. If you watch, it wasn't that much CGI. Maybe that car that falls down, but I don't think that was CGI. But I thought that John McTiernan with the camera, he did an excellent job, and I thought that was very well. It worked very well in the film. Number 4, Sue Scarver, played by Samuel L. Jackson. I've been actually listening and reading a negative criticism and negative reviewers who says that Sue Scarver is a racist. I think that's wrong. I don't think he's a racist. He's not a racist. He's actually a really likable character. I like that he's a great character. I don't think I'm actually gonna go on the fence on Sue Scarver because he's not a racist. He's a good guy. He has 2 grandchildren. If he will be a racist, he will let Mcclane die. But no, he goes he sees the son's gonna get killed because he wears a sign "I hate niggers," and he tells his the 2 kids called the 911 son's gonna get killed. They go to school and he goes, he doesn't know him. He goes to him and says, and he tries to talk him out. He tries to save him till the cop shows up. He tries to prevent a massacre. And what I respect by Sue Scarver, he tries to save, he gets involved in this game, cat and mouse, and he tries to save the people. He's a good guy, and I like him a lot. I thought Samuel Jackson worked well with Bruce Willis in this movie. They worked in Pulp Fiction, and Bruce Willis wanted him. I thought they worked well. He wasn't the sidekick, he was just a wrong place at the wrong time, who had to do something by helping Mcclane, by helping prevent a white dude get killed by others. That's what Sue Scarver had to do, and I love Sue Scarver a lot. Sorry, but I love him a lot. I love Samuel Jackson. I love him in the Avengers films. I love him in the other movies, Snakes on a Plane, the other movies, Negotiator with that guy, Kevin Spacey. I actually love the guy a lot. I'm a huge fan of Samuel Jackson. He did fantastic job. I like Sue Scarver. He was likable. I mean, when Mcclane forgot the bomb, in that water, with that elephant balloon, he said he's just gonna leave it there. What's some kid, and he says, you're right. He gives him, Mcclane gives him the suitcase of bomb and says, put to this guy, put to this guy, put actually to those cops. And I love when Sue Scarver he gives to those fake phony cops bomb. And I love this guy who's a terrorist says, no, some kid, what's this do? What you doing? I'm not gonna have this put it in the package. A kid can find it, and I just like that. This movie is unique. It's awesome, and Samuel Jackson did fantastic job. He did awesome. He doesn't kill anyone in this movie, which I love that. He's not a sidekick. He's actually a likable lead, and I like him. Or he grabs that golden stick, and breaks that. You go, ain't gonna be speed. I just love the movie, man. I love such a unique. Die Hard Avengers is such a unique movie, and I love the bond, the screen time with Bruce Willis and of course and Samuel Jackson. I love their bond. They don't like each other, and the reason he doesn't like him is because he getting killed. I like the lines, you want to call me nigger? I was gonna call him asshole. How's that asshole? You don't like me, you don't like me because I'm racist. What? Because you don't like me because I'm racist. I don't like you because you get killed. I like those lines. I mean, awesome lines. Oh my God. You don't like me because I'm white. Why are you racist? No, I don't like you because you get me killed. But actually, he does like Mcclane at the end. And I love it. Bruce Willis goes and saves him. I love that scene there. So yeah, that was number 4. Number 5, the action scenes were awesome, like the elevator scenes. It was well shot, it was rated there, it was all realistic, like in the elevator, when Mcclane goes with a phony detective and and of course, with the phony detectives and two security guards, and he finds out they're phony guards in the resort bank, and he goes, grabs the gun, shoots 2 bad guys, and kills the guy. Otto, shoots him. Great blood, it's great blood, great acted, great pacing, realistic, well shot. Nowadays, the photo in CGI, this is better acted, well realistic, it's well acted, well performed, all practical done. That's what I respect this movie, because it's awesome. It's great, it has great intense rush hour in it, and I thought the elevator scenes are great. I love the scene when Mcclane drives a car. Actually, no, I forgot the scene when he's in aqueduct and he's in this tunnel and he goes with the tow truck and he says, "Oh, Mickey O'Brien," and he talks about about the Santa Claus and goes and shoots 2 bad guys. And he goes to the truck and calls by the radio, just like in the first movie. He calls by the radio. This guy Simon says, "Attention, fuckhead, he's dead." And those other 2 boys are gonna be late. And they try to drown it. They put a bomb. They blow the bomb with the whole flute of water goes right to Mcclane, and he's like surfing. He grabs the bars, climbs the bars, throws out of the water, been saved by Zeus, and there's 2 guys in SUV truck, which I love, that Chevrolet truck, and they go and they actually hunting down Bruce Willis. They start shooting at him. Bruce Willis drives the car, turns around, goes shoots all 2 bad guys, kills 2 bad guys, which I love that scene. And he finds that there's a lot of, they actually found all coins. He goes on this bridge. I love the scene, how McTiernan shot the bridge scenes. The bridge scenes are so awesome when Mcclane and Carver, they go to this bridge and they put those long bars. They capture those tank, those ship. They actually climb the ship, and great acting performance by Bruce Willis and Samuel Jackson when they actually fall down. It was so great. I mean, stuntman really did a dangerous scene, but that was so great acting performance when they both fall down with the car lands in the bridge. There's a terrorist gets cut by a fucking line. I mean, John McTiernan knew how to do a fucking movie, and I miss this kind of movies. And yeah, that's actually now number 6. Reason number 6. The action sequence is fantastic. The final scene. In the first movie, the first Die Hard, one of the terrorists was the same actor who played Vigo in Ghostbusters 2. He had actually M60 machine gun, and he went and blew this, what is this actor's name? Michael Vale Johnson, Al Powell's car to pieces. In this movie, Simon Gruber holds M60 the same machine gun that Rambo holds. The same machine gun. He goes and holds the machine gun, in his hand. And John McTiernan, he put both machine guns in both the films. Die Hard 2 did not have that, or Die Hard 4. They don't wear machine guns. In this movie, Simon Gruber holds a machine gun, and I love the final scene. Some people said, "Oh, the final scene could be better." No, it is better. He goes with his revolver, and he's like in Canada and says, "I had no idea the Canada can be much fun." Puts two bullets in the barrel, and of course, Simon Gruber goes in the machine gun, shoots at it, and he puts and says, "Say hello to the brother," and he actually shoots the line which serves the blade, that flying blade of the helicopter, blows helicopter to pieces, and says, "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker!" I just love that. The final scene to me was better than in any Die Hard movies. I thought it was much better. The final scene said, "Show something, give me something to shoot. Come on, hotshot. Show your smile face." And he goes, "Say hello to your brother." And then he says, "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker." I just love that. He blows the helicopter to pieces. This movie has a helicopter, which just like in the first movie, it actually has two helicopter movies, and like in the first movie. I love that it's actually filmed in number 6. That's number I think that was number 6. Number 7. I thought in that city. I thought the movie was filmed in that city. The plot, which it turns out, actually the number 7 is because the first, I love the characters that they actually love the plot that they, for the whole movie, the first half hour of the movie, they're actually looking and searching for these bombs. They're looking for these bombs. I love the fact that there's a bombs in a school, and I love the characters. I love I actually love the characters. Like the guy who plays a shrink. I love Charles Weiss. Charlie Weiss is a bomb expert. I love Connie Kowalski. I love Joe. I forgot his last name, but I love Joe. I love Ricky Walsh in this movie. He gets killed by Otto. I love Lieutenant Walter Kopp. I love him. I love that they're actually searching the school. They're actually searching all the schools for 3 hours. I love that there's actually I love that Mcclane and Carver are running through the city. You can see Twin Towers that time before they were demolished. I love that I actually love that they're looking for the bombs. They're actually searching and looking for the bombs. Which I love that they're looking actually for the bombs in the film. They try to, they are playing the game, cat and mouse, and they're looking for the bomb, which is in a school. I love that Sus Carver is actually looking for, he's hunting down and he's looking, he has actually a submachine gun. I still don't know why, I know that Mcclane, he said take the safety off. He takes the safety off. They actually go, he takes the safety off, and I still don't know why it wasn't safety off, but he goes there with submachine gun, and he tries to get a code, for deactivating the bomb. I love when Charlie Weiss says, "No guts, no glory." He tries to cut the lines, but he cuts the wrong line, and it wasn't the real bomb in the school. I love they try to get the code. For the first hour, they're searching for this bomb. I love that there's bombs in New York City everywhere. I just love that. That's number 7. Number 8, the train sequence I forgot to mention. When Mcclane, he jumps on the train, breaks the window, gets in the train, grabs the suitcase of the bomb and shows it out. And I love the explosion, whole train flies. I love that explosion. Yeah, I love that explosion. I also love that the guy, I also love that Sus Carver, he grabs the cop, he says, "This guy, get down, asshole," and he does duck. He saves 2 passengers, the cop who aims at him. But the train sequence, the action sequence, the train sequence is awesome. Number 8, I think that was number 8. Number 9, the music score by Mcclane. He returns with the music score, and I actually love the music score for Johnny Manchin. I can't that's it, but I love Mcclane's score. I love that actually in the CD. I actually love in the CD. That Mcclane, the Mcclane grabs his kid and says, "You wanna get a gel for butterfly, for butter jelly?" And says, "Look around, man. It's Christmas. You can see the city hall." And I love that scene. I actually love that scene. When Mcclane finds out it wasn't actually revenge. It was actually a heist. I love that that's actually a heist. And the whole movie it's actually tense. It's a heist. But yes, and that's number 9. Number 9, the music score, and I also love the scenes in the film, especially Michael Caine's music score for Johnny Martin. I love that music score. I love this movie to death. And number 10 is John McClane. He's a badass. He's a badass cop. I think he kills more terrorists than he did in the first movie. The first movie he killed them 9. I at least counted 12 in this movie. He killed at least 12. I thought that definitely number 10 is definitely John McClane is the best of the movie. He's a badass, and he has balls in this movie. He jumps on the train just like he did in the movie. I mean, he was just awesome. He blows Simon Gruber cat to pieces. I prefer that cat than that cat with the fucking Russian roulette. Fuck that cat. That cat sucked. It was terrible. I prefer that cat when he blows them to pieces. I love when he says, "Hey, fuck it." I forgot to mention the park. He drives to the park. I forgot to mention he drives to the park. And I love when Suscaro says, "Are you able to feel?" No, maybe this is not mine. And they drive to the park. Of course, there's Bruce Willis in it, but there's a stuntman who was driving the car, not him. But I love the scene from the park. I love Bruce Willis' acting performance. This is my favorite Bruce Willis movie. John McClane is my favorite character he ever did. Die Hard Avengers and Die Hard I just love. The first and the third one I watched the most. I do also watch the second, the fourth one, but the first and third one are actually they both have special place in my heart. And I thought Die Hard and this movie, Die Hard Avengers, are both unique. I thought the director John McTiernan did an awesome job. I thought this movie did a fantastic job. I thought that Bruce Willis acted perfectly. I thought how he was dressed. I actually love this poster. How he looks like. He's just awesome. He's just awesome. And yeah, of course, by the end, those are actually my top 10 reasons why I love Die Hard with a Vengeance. I know it's not that long film, but I always watch Die Hard with a Vengeance on my birthday. I watch the first one when it's before it's even Christmas, every December. Even in the summer, I just love the film. And I actually forgot to mention, not just only that I love Bruce Willis' performance, but I love that the movie, the plot that is not the same as the second movie. I love that it's over the summer. I love that there's actually a song, The Summer That's City. I love that song, but I love that it's rated there. It's well acted, practical effects. I don't think this movie has CGI. This movie has non-CGI. It's all practical done. The action sequences, the blood squeeze, they don't make them like this movie anymore. And it's actually very hard to do a sequel, especially since the first movie was such a big hit. It was so hard to do the sequel. And I'm glad that John McTiernan returned to do the third one. He was asked to do the second movie, but he was filming and directing that time The Hunt for Red October, so he said no. I'm glad that he returned for the third movie, and I also love that this movie was produced by Andrew G. Vena, who produced the first 3 Rambo films. I just love this movie to death. This movie is one of my all-time favorite movies of all time. Then the first Die Hard. Those 2 are actually my favorite action movies ever with Rambo films. But no, Die Hard and Die Hard Vengeance, I love both of them. They're my all-time favorite movies. They have very special place in my heart. And you can see I have a poster right there from Die Hard Vengeance. I used to have the first Die Hard poster, but that's ruined. Maybe someday I'll get a new one, but I'm planning to get Die Hard 4K, the original film, which is 30 year anniversary. I would like to see the movie on 4K. Would like to see Die Hard 2 and 3 and 4 on 4K, but so far I don't think they are planning to release the sequels on 4K. I still don't know they released Predator 2, 3 and 4 on 4K, but not the Die Hard Vengeance. It's kind of really disappointing how is this movie better treated. There's still some people who hate Die Hard Vengeance, but only prefer the first one. I'm sorry. Die Hard Vengeance is actually my film. It's my film. It's not it's not yours unless you're a fan of this film, because I am a huge fan of Die Hard with a Vengeance, and those are actually my favorite movies. Those are the movies that I grew up, that I watched in high school the most. And Die Hard with a Vengeance is a unique film, almost the same. No, it's actually so good as the first one. It's so good. Well, everyone wants to talk about T2. I want to talk about Die Hard with a Vengeance. I want to talk about Demolition Man, Hard Target, or Rambo, First World Part 2, Rambo 3, Rambo 2008, those sequels that doesn't get so released. Predator 2, I want to talk about Predator 2, Aliens, I want to talk about those movies that are actually unique. Die Hard 2, I want to talk about Die Hard 2. And yeah, but I actually was the one that I want to talk about, Cobra, Hard Target. And of course, Under Siege. Those kind of movies I enjoy, Out for Justice, About the Law, Universal Soldier, Cyborg, Kickboxer, Bloodsport, Death Warrant, Double Impact. Those kind of movies I want to talk about. Broken Arrow, Hard Boiled. I want to talk about Hard Boiled, which is another 90s action film from John Woo. And my favorite John Woo film is Hard Target. My second favorite is actually Hard Boiled, and my third one is Broken Arrow. I think the fourth one for John Woo, I'll actually do Paycheck, and the fifth one I'll go with The Killer. Number 6, I'll actually go with A Better Tomorrow 2. Number 7, Better Tomorrow. I think number 8 will be Face Off. I don't know which. I think number 9 will be Heroes Tear No Sheds. And I think number 10 I'll put actually Bullet. I think it was Bullet in the Head, or was Bullet in the Head. Bullet in the Head. I'll put actually number 10. Actually no. I'll put number 7, Bullet to the Head. Number 7, which came out in 1990 with John Woo. If I do top 10, number 7 will, number 8 will be A Better Tomorrow. But yes, I love John Woo movies. But Die Hard with a Vengeance has a special heart in my heart, special place in my heart. It's dear to my heart. I love the movie. I also love the first one. The first one is also just like the first one. It has special in my heart. But yes. So that's my video discussion. That's it for the guys. That's my discussion on Die Hard with a Vengeance. Why it's actually my favorite movie of all time. Top 10 reasons why it's one of my favorites. Thanks for watching and take care. I'm out. Peace.